And one of the things they do is they stop eating. They lose a lot of weight.
You have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker.
You ain't never did nothing. This what you want to put your brand on?
Diddy was reportedly taken back to the Metropolitan Detention Center after allegedly faking a medical issue in an attempt to get out of jail. The rapper, who is currently facing sex trafficking charges, was initially admitted to Brooklyn Hospital on January 30th, claiming to be suffering from an injury and depression. However, it has since come to light that Diddy may have fabricated the entire situation in order to temporarily escape jail. According to sources, Diddy underwent an MRI to address knee pain, but was quickly returned to police custody that same evening. Despite the official reports, the Federal Bureau of Prisons has neither confirmed nor denied the details of his hospitalization. A spokesperson for the Bureau stated that for privacy, safety, and security reasons, they do not comment on the conditions of confinement or medical statuses of those in custody. Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, refused to comment on the matter when approached by the media, citing his inability to address issues related to prisoner movements or medical concerns. The timing of the hospitalization was particularly suspicious as it occurred just hours after federal prosecutors filed new criminal charges against Diddy, accusing him of coercing 2 more women into sex work. These charges were added to the original September indictment, which previously mentioned 1 victim. Diddy has denied all allegations, with his legal team asserting that the new indictment is flawed, especially the claim that 2 of his former girlfriends were not actually his girlfriends, but rather prostitutes. Diddy's trial is scheduled to begin on May 5th, but his bail has already been denied 3 times. Although it seems unlikely he will be granted bail, Diddy is still reportedly trying to maneuver his way out of jail, potentially using medical claims to his advantage. Leaked audio from a recent conversation with his son suggests that Diddy had a plan to get out of jail, and the timing of his hospital visit raises questions. Is it just a coincidence?
Diddy Combs was expected to appear in court within the hour, but postponed just moments ago. It comes after reports that the music mogul was admitted to the hospital last week. Fox 5's Lisa Evers is live in Lower Manhattan with all of this. Lisa, so at this moment, what do we know?
Well, Bianca, this is a very fast-moving situation. Developments happening almost every single day. It seems as if every day there's some new piece of news about Diddy or his legal troubles. Now, this afternoon, he was scheduled to go before a judge here and have a hearing in one of the many civil cases that he's facing. But we just learned a short time ago that at the very last minute, that hearing naming Sean Diddy Combs in another legal issue in another civil suit was postponed at the very last minute, with no future date scheduled and no explanation. This is just one of the many questions, growing number of questions in need of answers. Now, last Thursday at the MDC, where he is currently incarcerated, my sources tell me that Diddy was taken from MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center, about 10 at night to a nearby hospital for an MRI on his knee. Skeptics thought there must have been a fight or he was attacked at the prison that's considered one of the most dangerous in America. But sources insist he had a pain in his knee, possibly due to previous knee surgeries that he's undergone over the years. Now, the emergency hospital visit came just hours after federal prosecutors slapped him with a superseding indictment in his federal sex trafficking RICO case, adding 2 more victims and extending the time period for investigators from 2008 going back to 2004, meaning they have 4 more years in order to continue investigating possible additional allegations. Now, all of this taking place, as it seems every week, there's another docuseries or documentary being cranked out about Diddy, which criminal defense attorneys who try cases in the Southern District here at the federal courthouse tell me can possibly taint potential juries that are going to hear this case when it gets going in May. Now, he will be back in the criminal case here in this courthouse in about 2.
Diddy is well connected to some of the world's most powerful politicians, with ties even reaching former President Trump, who used to attend his parties. Former President Obama has publicly thanked Diddy for his contributions, and just weeks before the raid on Diddy's home, Mayor Eric Adams awarded him the key to the city. It's been reported that Mayor Adams was aware of Diddy's impending arrest, but still chose to honor him. Diddy is now trying to erase any evidence of his wrongdoings and has been working to do so for months. Prosecutors informed Judge Aaron Subban that Diddy had been using coded language to communicate with his associates, pressuring witnesses and attempting to manipulate the narrative. Diddy has realized that in order to protect himself, he must take matters into his own hands, and that's exactly what he appears to be doing now. 7. Federal prosecutors have presented audio recordings of Diddy participating in three-way calls with witnesses, during which he pressured them to remain silent. At times, Diddy even offered these witnesses hundreds of thousands of dollars in exchange for their silence. In a recent episode of Asterisk, The Art of Dialogue Asterisk, Gandil discussed how Diddy's friends had called him, urging him to stop. These details were recently filed in court, contributing to Diddy's bail being denied. Judge Aaron Sonian ruled that Diddy had repeatedly violated jail rules, demonstrating that he either cannot or will not follow them. As a result, Diddy was deemed untrustworthy. According to court documents, there was also evidence that Diddy instructed family members and lawyers to add others to three-way calls, making their communications harder to trace.
MRIs and x-rays and things of that nature, they're on a normal work schedule, between, the normal business hours of maybe 10 o'clock and maybe 6 p.m. So in that case, this was a little bit different, getting him outside the facility in the late evening hours to do just, possibly a basic MRI.
Yeah, I was thinking about the timeline too, because I don't ever recall going to the doctor at 10 p.m. at night. As you said, it's usually 9 to 5, 10 to 6 kind of vibes. But for P. Diddy, I can kind of understand why it was at 10 p.m. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking they decided to do this because he's such a high-profile name that they wouldn't want to draw attention to it. I mean, this is an unassuming Thursday night around 10 p.m. Could that be why they decided then to go to the hospital?
Yes, and also, for a couple of reasons, staff, many correctional agencies are short-staffed, so if you're taking someone out with this high-profile person such as P. Diddy, just the nature of who he is going to cause a serious security concern, because you're going to need to be able to stave off, onlookers, fans, media, and the like. And then you also got to think about the security of the hospital and their operations. People there to try to get better. You have families there to visit their loved ones. And the last thing you need is somewhat, a chaotic environment that's causing concern with security. And also, most people don't know this, but he's actually under the primary custody. He's a what we call a U.S. Marshals inmate, because he's on pretrial status. So the Bureau, the agency, the Bureau of Prisons oversees, the operations with overseeing the inmates on a day-to-day basis. However, when they're in the hospital for an extended period of time, if there's no deal worked out between the local institution and the local marshal's office, it will be the marshal's responsibility to take custody of that particular inmate. And and if he does have issues with his legs, is he walking with a limp? Does he have does he have a cane or anything like that? So yeah, I think that would be the reason why that they would make this, take this measure, which I've never seen in my career. Someone taken out to the hospital at this time of night for something as basic.
It's becoming clear that Diddy will go to any lengths to get out of prison. With his $50 million bail denied, he's now resorting to fabricating health issues. A few weeks ago, Diddy reportedly tried to starve himself, which led to reports of him losing weight. Diddy has been given a special cell, and some inmates even do chores for him. His main goal is clear. He wants to escape to destroy the evidence against him. The jail where Diddy is being held has been described as hell on earth, with several inmates dying from lack of proper treatment and others, like Jeffrey Epstein, committing suicide. So, if conditions are as dire as reported, how is Diddy able to leave whenever he wants? 11. As Diddy's legal battles unfold, the stakes have never been higher. From faking medical issues to allegedly manipulating witnesses, his efforts to evade justice have intensified the scrutiny around his case. Despite his connections and resources, the walls seem to be closing in. With multiple denials of bail and tighter restrictions on his communications, the question remains, will Diddy's alleged scheme succeed, or will the justice...
Do what the I told you to do, and don't forget about the list. Make sure that shit is fucking signed. Alright. Good. So tell me, what's been going on? How the girls doing? How's Quincy doing? They good. Quincy, he been filming a lot. Hey, yo, don't tell me that he's out here filming for that vlog show, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I guess so. He do got us in it too.
Yo, y'all motherfuckers stupid. Y'all understand the definition of lay low? This nigga got a fucking TV show while I'm dealing with this shit. Y'all need to just stay out the fucking press. No cameras, no nothing. Don't entertain nothing. Don't take pictures. Don't sign autographs. Just stay in the fucking house.
Nah, me though, Pop. I do be in the crib. Everybody else just be on different shit.
Don't nobody want to listen to what I gotta say. But it's all good. I got motherfuckers cutting deals left and right trying to take me down.
Nah, Pop. Everything gonna be alright. We gonna get you out.
Oh, I know. Cause I got one more trick up my sleeve. And this one is gonna put everybody back in their seats. I can't wait to see the look on everybody's faces when this shit happens.
What you mean though, Pop?
Don't even worry about it. Just do me a favor and vote for Harris.
Alright.
And don't be surprised when all my so-called friends do exactly that. Alright, now, did you complete everything that's on the letter?
Yeah, I got the big pen, Pop. I did it.
Are you stupid? I gotta go. I'll call you back.
Diddy gets off the phone really quickly after his son is talking about a pig pen, a bull pen, pen pal. I'm not exactly sure what he's even referencing. And that whole thing about voting for Harris or whatever, I'm very confused.
Diddy was reportedly removed from his jail cell in the middle of the night, while other inmates typically have scheduled treatment in the morning. This raises questions, especially after the judge deemed Diddy too dangerous to be released. He had previously been caught trying to contact and threaten witnesses, so why is he being allowed out at such an unusual hour for a medical issue that isn't even considered an emergency? Something doesn't seem right. Diddy has been attempting to fake medical issues for months, first claiming he was starving himself, and then pretending to suffer from depression. 3. Deputy Warden Dr. Dwayne Hendrick at the Metropolitan Detention Center is reportedly shocked by how Diddy was allowed to leave without following the proper protocol. Medical procedures are typically scheduled weeks in advance, and inmates are usually transported during the day. High-profile inmates like Diddy require prior authorization, yet everything was arranged in the middle of the night. This raises serious questions. Who was Diddy planning to meet at the hospital? And is he attempting to use a fake medical issue as a way to get out? Diddy himself has hinted at a plan to take action against witnesses, and there are concerns that someone may be pulling strings from behind the scenes.
Yeah, there you go. Y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
Yes, we applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
T-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me. That the judge was going to allow him to be bonded out on the first get-go. Now, if he comes up with some more hearings, he might be released. But based on the evidence, they've been following him, bro. They've been tapping his phone, been having people watch him. You understand? He been coming back and forth from New York, and he don't usually be coming back from New York. And somebody was telling me that, yo, listen here, yo, he trying to get witnesses. Remember when they released that first thing of Cassie, and I said that Diddy was trying to contact people for character witnesses, people for who he had problems with before, whatever like that, and trying to talk to them in the whole 9 yards. That's when they dropped that thing with Cassie. The Homeland Security had some agency or whatever like that that deals with that, dropped that thing on Cassie to show everybody, oh, y'all want to help him? Y'all, this is what y'all want to help? This is who y'all want to, you know, say that he ain't never did nothing. This what you want to put your brand on? And everybody started backing up from it. Everybody was talking about, yo, man, Cassie was a gold digger. Cassie was this, that, and the third. She loved it in the whole 9 yards. And then when they seen that, all his friends or so-called friends, went away. So him not having a bond is not surprising.
And he offered them $50 million, and they still denied it.
He should have waited to see what they was going to offer.
Diddy wants to erase all the evidence, and he's been trying to do it for months now. prosecutors informed Judge Aaron Subramanian that Diddy had been in contact with his associates and had been asking them in code words to pressure the witnesses and control the narrative. Diddy has now realized that he needs to take matters into his own hands, and that's what he is doing now.
Diddy's prison phone call just leaked and it was posted by Social Details. This is allegedly a call that he had, and there's a lot of talk, a lot of code words in there, so we're gonna listen to it together. Check it out.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over.
Now, this alleged leaked call from Diddy in prison was talking about getting rid of pizza boxes. Now, if you know your stuff and you're privy, you know exactly what pizza stands for, and that's probably what they're talking about and referring to on this alleged leaked call. Pizza, for those who don't know, I'm gonna make it very clean. It has to do with children and selling.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Now, in this alleged phone call, he starts talking about someone named Jay. People are speculating that maybe Jay-Z, but there's no confirmation. At the same time, he talks about recycling plastic. I don't know what that could mean. If you guys have any idea, comment and let me know.
Everybody out there quiet as motherfucker. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
I mean, it seems by the call that he's looking for help. He's saying that a lot of people are quiet, I guess people that are on his side, and that he's gonna have the last laugh at the end.
Man, just do what I told you to do, and don't forget about the list.
And then he goes on to say, don't forget about the list. We don't know what that list is or what that implies, but this is pretty crazy. Do I think this is legitimate? There is no confirmation yet if this is legitimate or not, but this is the alleged leak call of Diddy. Tell me what you guys think.
Federal prosecutors have provided audio recordings of Diddy in three-way calls with witnesses where he is asking them to stay quiet. At times, Diddy even offered these witnesses hundreds of thousands of dollars in exchange for their silence. In a recent episode of The Art of Dialogue, Gene Deal also talked about how Diddy's friends had been calling him and telling him enough is enough.
New details this morning in the sex trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors now claiming that from behind bars, Combs has been trying to reach out to victims and possible witnesses. And ABC's Phil Lipoff is here now with this story. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Gio. Diddy's lawyers trying for a third time to get him out on bail, but this time, the prosecution telling the judge about attempts they say the rap mogul made from behind bars to influence everyone from potential jury to alleged victims.
Who's the boss? Dudes is lost. Don't think cause I'm iced out, I'ma cool off.
This morning, prosecutors leveling new accusations against Sean Diddy Combs, saying he poses a serious risk of danger even from behind bars as he awaits trial. In a court filing late Friday, prosecutors detailing the steps they say Combs is taking while locked up to reach out to prospective witnesses and influence public opinion to affect potential jurors.
The accusations within the prosecution's motion to deny bail are very serious and will be considered very heavily by the judge, because the judge is going to want to ensure that he is not influencing witnesses and or contacting anyone to influence a trial in any way.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, and sex trafficking. He denies any wrongdoing. The government now asking a judge not to grant Combs' third request for bail, in which the music mogul offers a $50 million bail package citing new evidence and changed circumstances. Prosecutors pointing to recorded phone calls from jail. They say Combs asked family members to reach out to potential victims and witnesses, urging them to create narratives to influence a jury pool. Allegations that could land Combs in even more trouble.
Diddy's jail calls can be used at trial if they are able to support the prosecution's case in chief. They can also provide grounds for additional criminal charges to be filed against him.
All of this while a Hulu documentary is set to be released Monday.
His name is Shine. Kid is nice.
Called The Honorable Shine, about a young rapper who says he took the rap for a nightclub shooting involving Combs and then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez.
Puffy got acquitted and he got 10 years.
He was betrayed. I was absolutely set up to be the fall guy.
Moses Shine Levy Barrow, now running for president of Belize, says he was betrayed by Combs.
The government has come out with new evidence of its own to justify pretrial detention. And let me just read you this from the beginning of their brief. They say, while attempting to evade law enforcement monitoring, the defendant has, among other things, orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool, made efforts to publicly leak materials he views as helpful to his case, and contacted witnesses through third parties because he has already been engaging in obstruction while locked up. They read, the government has reviewed dozens of recordings of BOP jail calls in which the defendant uses telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates, which is against BOP regulations. Seemingly to avoid law enforcement monitoring, the defendant uses other inmates' PAC numbers to make phone calls to both individuals on the defendant's approved contact list, as well as other individuals who are not on the approved contact list. To obtain or maintain access to other inmates' PAC numbers, the defendant directs others to pay the inmates, including through payment processing apps and BOP account deposits. The defendant also frequently instructs individuals whom he contacts by telephone, including family members and his attorneys, to add other individuals via three-way call. This practice is not authorized by BOP as it helps conceal the identities of the contacted individuals. The government has reviewed multiple calls in which the defendant has instructed parties to dial in third parties, including members and associates of the enterprise and individuals who are not on the defendant's contact. The defendant also uses a non-authorized third-party messaging service called Contact Me ASAP to obscure his communications. The defendant appears to be using 2 Contact Me ASAP accounts. First, the defendant's BOP contact list includes a particular email address assigned to the defendant's son, which does not appear to be an account owned by the defendant's son, but instead appears to be an email address connected to Contact Me ASAP. Second, the defendant appears to be using another inmate's Contact Me ASAP account, primarily using email 1. The defendant has exchanged hundreds of text messages via Contact Me ASAP with dozens of individuals, including attorneys and individuals who are not in the defendant's contact.
And the update comes via our friend Larry Levine, who has a source close to the investigation. Larry is a former federal prisoner himself who served time at 11 institutions across 5 states and is founder and director of Wall Street Prison Consultants. He advises people who are about to face the same plight. He joins me now live. Okay, Larry, spill the tea. What are you hearing about Diddy's eating?
Well, I got an inside source there at MDC, and if they knew who it was, they'd really plot. When people go into custody, they have anxiety, they're depressed, a lot of things go through their mind. And one of the things they do is they stop eating. They lose a lot of weight. Look at somebody coming out of prison. They look like a POW or something, but they've been through the ringer. Now, there's a collateral issue that may be here. Look what happened to Jeff Epstein. I got people every day saying, you think they're going to Epstein him? And I go, well, I really don't know. But they can't have this guy do a suicide. It would look kind of funny. Now, imagine if somebody got to one of the correctional officers, and this could happen. They don't make a lot of money. And there's people out there that he has things on that do have a substantial amount of money. Imagine if someone paid someone off on the inside to actually poison his food, give him a heart attack, and he dies. And no one would really think anything of it. So that may be one of the reasons he's not eating. He's really, really paranoid. He's really, really scared. He doesn't know what to think. He doesn't know who to trust or what to believe. Then he had a religious visit also, and a dietitian come talk to him. Now, there's a possibility that he wants to go on a kosher diet.
The jail where Diddy is being kept has been described as hell on earth. Several inmates have died due to lack of treatment, while others, like Jeffrey Epstein, committed suicide. If things are that bad, then how is Diddy able to get out whenever he wants?
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called hell on earth. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence. How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here. Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent a harrowing year in federal custody. He says for someone used to a life of luxury like Diddy, prison life is a severe shock.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have a basic 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
Diddy's lawyers were so eager to keep him out of jail, they offered his palatial $48 million home in Miami Beach and his private jets as bail. Today, they are even offering to restrict female visitors to his homes, except for his mother, daughters, and the mothers of his children if he is released. They told the judge the jail he was being sent to is dreadful, dirty, inhuman, and an ongoing tragedy.
How's your dad doing? How's your dad doing?
Family members appeared somber as they arrived at federal court in Manhattan today in another attempt to get out on bail. The judge cited Diddy's history of violent temper and potential intimidation of witnesses as reasons for keeping him behind bars. Diddy's former protege, singer Aubrey O'Day, is celebrating Diddy's downfall today. I feel validated, a win for women all over the world.
It was filed on January 30th. Coincidentally, according to the New York Post, that's the same day P. Diddy was taken to a Brooklyn hospital from MDC. MDC is the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. It's where Diddy's been held since his arrest back in September. His team has tried multiple times for bail, but it's always been denied. So that's where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. He was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his knee. This actually isn't the first time we've heard about Diddy's knee either. He's apparently had problems with it since 2003 when he ran the New York Marathon. He even had multiple knee surgeries back in 2017. In a now deleted Instagram post, Diddy shared this photo and wrote, quote, "Just had my final knee surgery. They said I'd never run again. I said the devil is a liar, 2 exclamation points. 3 surgeries in 1 year. 3rd time's a charm, 3 exclamation points, hashtag rebirth. Don't take the simple things in life for granted. Thank you to all the surgeons and docs and PTs. I thank God for y'all, and hashtag team love, hashtag thank you, hashtag God is the greatest." He also wrote, quote, "God puts us all through things for a reason. It's up to us to learn through the things that he puts us through. Sometimes you have to go through the pain to get to the joy. This journey has brought me closer to God, closer to my family, and most importantly, closer to myself, as this has been God's will." So apparently Diddy's knee has been bothering him recently, so he reported it. At some point, it was decided that he needed medical care outside of the jail, so he was taken to a Brooklyn hospital. He was only gone for a couple of hours and came straight back to MDC after his MRI was finished. Diddy's attorney Mark Agnifilo told TMZ, quote, "I cannot comment on anything related to prisoner movements. Also, I'm not commenting on anything related to possible medical issues." A statement from the Federal Bureau of Prisons was released too. It says, quote, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody, to include medical status or medical treatment."